Hey, what's up, everyone, and good morning. Thanks for joining myself and Darren. We wanted to put together a bit of a video recording here of some of the recent releases that we've had and also talk a little bit about some of the sneaks and product enhancements that we have coming out. So we are going to try something here referred to as our sneaks and releases monthly video. We know that Darren sends out release notes. He sends out his product deck in most cases that have the releases and bullet points. This will hopefully give you a little bit more insight and basically just a different way to consume some of that info. So what you're seeing on my screen right now is some of the updates that we're going to go through. Not going to make this too long. We're going to try to keep it to about 10 minutes, but we are going to cover the most recent maintenance release that came out. And then we'll talk just briefly about some of the thematic updates that our dev teams are going to be concentrating on over the next several months. We're going to try and keep it relatively close to the Q1, Q2 timeframe because, as everyone knows, within development, things change very fast. So we want to try and at least give you a sense of what we're concentrating on, what we're focusing on, and then how that actually relates to your business. So want to welcome in Darren. Thanks for joining again. Darren, you do an awesome job in the Facebook group every week of the releases. Let's talk briefly, and I'm going to sort of turn it over to you for the most recent maintenance release that we had, which I think just came out a couple of days ago, 22040. So I have some bullet points here, but Darren actually put together a much more robust breakdown of the releases within a PowerPoint deck. So Darren, I'm going to toss it over to you. Why don't you give us a little bit of a breakdown here of what was recently sent out by our dev team?
Sure. So this is actually going to be coming out this Sunday, the 29th. So we're doing the final QA on a couple things. Some of the final notes might change a little bit, but the big changes to kind of go over right now are going to be in regards to internal messaging and two-way texting. With the internal messaging, one thing you're going to be able to do is copy and paste in internal messaging and SMS. So you'll be able to copy and paste any messages without having to go through a whole script of anything. With internal messaging, you're going to be able to do a quick reply, kind of like Microsoft Teams. If anybody's used that, you get the pop-up on your screen. You'll just be able to do a quick reply back to your tech or fellow advisor. With SMS, you're also going to be able to look up a customer who doesn't have an open work order. Just go to your ribbon, hit the messaging tab. You're going to have a text search. You can find any customer, whether they have a work order appointment or not, send them a message whenever you need to. We call that ad hoc texting. Another big one, if you go down to the next screen here, this is an enhancement for a report that some people have been asking for some time on our invoice summary report. We're going to add the ability to track your notes and flags on those reports. So after the work order post, you'll still be able to go back and read the notes and the flags without having to open up the invoice manually. There'll be some various bug fixes, but those are going to be your big key things to look for.
Excellent. Thanks, Darren. And in every case, Darren's team, Darren leads our support team here and most of our product team as well. You can reach out to him or our support team if you want to dive into any one of those bullets a little bit deeper and see some of the functionality. We try to keep it relatively high level here, but that'll give you a sense of exactly what direction we're going in. So obviously a lot of, let's call it December, kind of end of year, and then first part of January was concentrating on some of our texting and communication functions because we realize how important that is. We've heard your feedback for sure. A lot more to come on that, but certainly something that we're concentrating on. So let me just kind of go through the next several months. Now, this isn't a formal roadmap as you would see exist in many companies. This is more, again, thematic. So it sort of tailors to exactly what we're working on, whether it's feature update, maintenance, partner or integration. So as we get into sort of, let's call it mid Q1 here within sort of February and March, we are working with our primary payments processing company, 360 Payments. A lot of you use them, know them well. On some of the upgrades that they have to their payment processing platform, it's going to make things go a lot faster, more easily acceptable. Some of the UI there will be more easy to follow as well. Actually, I should say UX from that standpoint. They're also going to be working with some of their partners on scoping out how we're working with surcharges and discounts, because we know that that's been a very popular topic over the last several months. So we're hoping to get more information about that and out to you within that February timeframe. And one of the biggest things that I'm excited for, I know, Darren, that you've been working on diligently, so I'll let you cover it, is our upcoming release of Canny.io, which is a product management tool.
Right. We've talked about this in a few different places now, but definitely decided to get it out. Canny.io is a place where everybody can go to publicly voice their opinion on feature updates, integrations they want, anything like that to do with the program. So the Facebook group is great, right? We can go in there, we can talk about it, have conversations, but besides that, we have people giving requests to salesmen, to the support team on different places, training events, So Canyon will be a place that we can kind of congregate all that information. Everybody can see it, full transparency and visibility to everybody. And that'll really help us with our roadmap, make sure that we have the right things in place.
Yeah, we don't want you to have to submit features to a black hole anymore. In a lot of cases, those were received, they were put into a spreadsheet or into a program or into a development tool. And in many cases, they just required more explanation. They required more background and more context around why they were needed, especially for multiple customers. Canny helps us cut through all that, create more transparency for you. Plus, as a user, you can vote on things that you feel are more important to your business. So there might be things out there that you just haven't been exposed to yet that you would actually rate higher than things that you've submitted yourself. We try to develop for our primary customer, our primary customer profile. But in many cases, there's things that pop up that so many people ask for that is a specific component of the program that they can jump to the top. So we try to make sure that we prioritize based on customer need, as well as where we see the market going. So in addition to that, one thing that I do want to just sort of state is that each month will contain a maintenance release. So even though these are some of the features, integrations, server updates that we're looking at, we're still going to be doing business as usual. So it's not like we're going to stop all bug fixes or stop all maintenance. These are things that we're just building on top of it. And one of those is something that has become a pretty big topic internally, and I think within the Facebook group as well, which is companion web app. So, Protractor is an awesome program. It has all the horsepower for you to run your business. But what happens when that owner wants to go remote? You jump on your laptop, it's cloud-based, that's great. But what happens when you want to go from your phone? Or what happens when you want to do the multi-device experience? So while we'd love to say that we're just going to rewrite all of Protractor and have it ready to go for responsive, that's not realistic. And I think most of you know that. So instead, the direction that we're going to go is break off some of the components or create new components that will be what's called companion web apps. So you'll be able to access them responsively across devices, and you'll be able to access certain aspects, certain components of Protractor on the go. That's going to be the easiest way that we can keep that horsepower, but still allow you to have that access, that remote access, that responsive and on the go type access. So there's a lot that's going to be coming with that. The first one that we're going to be releasing is a VIN scanner app that allow you to scan that vehicle as soon as it comes to the shop. It'll go directly or upload directly to the work order. You have the ability to decode, work on it from there. So that'll be a really good introduction to how we plan to roll this entire thing out, and obviously more updates coming with more functionality. That's one of the things that we want to do a listening tour on and possibly talk about Canny with as well, is what are some of those companion web apps that would be most useful to you. So more to come on that, but we're really excited to make sure that we provide that accessibility to our customers. The last thing is probably the biggest update that we're going to make in a really long time. And by that, I mean primarily the amount of effort and lift that goes into it. Stability has been on our minds for the last 6 months. And most of you saw the fireside chat that we did with our new VP of development, Shashir. So we're going to be making a migration fully to AWS. We're actually really excited about it. It gives us more flexibility to do things like companion web apps. It also makes us faster with how we can develop a lot of our integrations, the open API. And this will be a phased approach, right? So we're not going to just cut everything over at once. We want to be very focused and very diligent about this. So we're going to be doing a phased approach with the different systems that we have, the different databases that we have. But our goal would be to complete this hopefully by the end of Q2. We'll keep you updated along the way and make sure that you're aware of any of those migrations or cutovers that are going to happen. So we'll keep that transparency going to the best of our ability. But it is going to help us with stability. That's the number one thing, as I'd mentioned. Sure, feature development, always important. Getting your feedback on products, always important. But we got to keep the program running. We got to keep it fast. And that's number one on our minds right now. So that's a little bit of a sneak peek of what's going to be happening in the next several months and what we're concentrating on. We'd love to get your feedback on some of the things that you think we're doing well, some of the things that we could improve on. Canny will definitely help with that, just as Darren had mentioned before. Darren, anything else that you would add from the product side or from the support side before we sign off?
I'd say just really take a look at Canyon once it comes out. Put all your thoughts into it, give us the feedback. It's going to be a beta, right? We need to get your feedback, make sure that it works the way you want it to as well.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. This has been our January version of Sneaks and Releases. We hope to do more of these in the future to keep you informed. We really appreciate you as customers and hope to see you soon. Thanks.
Thank you.